Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your all-county 8th grade flute help video. My name is Miss Perdue, and I cannot wait to go through all of this all-county music with you guys. Now, the piece that I am starting on first is the unison band piece for flute. Obviously, the first thing that we always like to check out whenever we are playing a piece is the key and the time signature. Now we're at home base with the 4/4 time signature. 4 beats per measure, the quarter note gets the beat, all life is good and dandy, but what about that key signature? 4 flats means that we are in A flat major. In A flat major, flutes have B flat, E flat, first finger is up on E flat, please always remember that. A flat, which is just like G, but with this fun key. And D flat, which is only played with this pinky, okay? If you ever feel like you're gonna drop your flute or that you really just can't hold your flute well while playing D flat, you can leave this right hand down and it's really not gonna do anything. But instead of doing that, I definitely recommend that you try to anchor your flute on your anchor spots. Main one being right here, okay? And that'll help you hold your flute. You can kind of press against it. Now, A flat major is nothing to be scared of if you know your A flat scale. So what I always do before I play any piece is I always play the scale that correlates with it so that I know that I am on the right page with myself, okay? Once I know that I've got my scale down and I am good to go, I'm going to take a look at some of these rhythms and some rhythms that repeat so I don't have to spend my time learning the same thing over and over again. Now, one rhythm is very present throughout this piece. I see it in measure 1, measure 2, measure 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, and 15. Can you see it? It is the 1 and a 2 rhythm. It doesn't always happen on beat 1. Sometimes it happens on 2 and a 3, but it's that 8th note followed by 2 16th notes. Now, the tendency, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to blow through that 8th note and rush those 16th notes like crazy. If you start slow on this piece, think of your subdivisions, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and 3, 4. 1. They don't go fast just because they're 16th notes. Now, right now, I do have my metronome on 76, which is a good starting place for us on this piece. However, please make sure that you don't crunch your 16th notes up because we will be listening for that as judges, okay? Knowing that, you should be okay for rhythms in your first line. The other thing that I would like to talk to you about is style. Style is what makes music definitely come alive, and it makes it more interesting for the listener. We're going to hear 80 flutes play this piece, but are 80 flutes really going to take advantage of their staccato notes? Are they really going to make sure that their slurred notes are as elongated and connected as possible, played at full value? No. And that's going to be the difference between whether or not you make all county and whether or not you don't. Okay? So please make sure that you are showing really good contrast between the staccatos and the notes that are slurred and connected. I'm going to go ahead and play the first line for you. Check out the last note on the first line, beats 3 and 4 of measure 4. That's an accent note. Give it a hard time with a little bit extra air, okay? Okay, not too bad. If you take a look at measure 5, a lot of the rhythms are still the same. You have that 1 and a 2 rhythm. You've got your staccatos versus your connected slurs. What is the main difference with this line? The dynamic. Piano, it matters. Take your pencil, big fat circle it, highlight it, something, and make sure that you are playing at a true piano or soft dynamic. Just because it's soft doesn't mean our tempo is going to slow down. And that's measure 9. Now, take a look at measure 9. Measure 9, we have an E flat, which is nothing to be scared of in flute world. All you're going to do is you're going to literally press down every key that you can. You're going to use a nice high airstream and make sure that you are using a good amount of air. One of my flute teachers always told me whenever I play long notes, I need to make my lips like a tunnel. Or if you remember the really unfortunate days of duck face, that works really well too. So if you elongate your lips and make them almost like a tunnel, it'll help the note come out a little bit more. So you can fool around a little bit with that. That's just a little tip. Dotted rhythms. Dotted rhythms are so fun, and they allow us to do so much in music rather than just play wholes, halves, quarters, and eighth notes. So if a dot is beside the note, all that means is that you're going to add half of the value of the note before it. So if you had a dotted eighth note, or a dotted half note, you are going to have the half note, which is worth 2 beats, and then half of a half note added onto it, which is 1 beat, added to the half note. So that makes 3, yeah? If you look at measure 9, you have a dotted quarter note. So you have to take the bass note, which is a quarter note, and then add the dot, which is only worth half of that quarter note, which is worth half of a beat. So that rhythm is 1.5 beats long. Yeah. Okay, so you're going to simply think to yourself, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. I'll play it. Pretty easy, yeah? One thing that I always do to help myself whenever I'm learning a piece is that I will subdivide for myself. If you have never heard the word subdivide, it's a way of like counting while you're in your head. So I'll play the subdivision. I'll divide that E flat into 3 E flats. Listen. So if you heard, I went E, 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 D flat, C, B, A flat. Try it. And that's just a good way to make sure that you are playing that note for its full value. Once you feel pretty comfortable and you know that you can count 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 in your head, then take the subdivision out. So check out measure 11. You have another dotted rhythm here, but it's a little bit smaller. This time you have a dotted eighth note, which means it's worth 3/16 notes. Just how like the dotted quarter note was worth 3/8 notes, this is worth 3/16 notes. 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2, okay? And you can do that subdivision thing like what I did with the dotted quarter note with a dotted eighth note too. You can try that out. Let's look at measure 9 and, no, not 9, sorry, measure 11 together. Ready, and... So what you can do, what I always have is I have a practice pal, somebody who will subdivide for me. So you all can trade off playing the subdivision while the other person holds the note for its actual value. When you feel like you have it with the subdivision, you guys can flip and then play it together. It's a nice way to utilize your friends in class. So I really hope that this has been helpful for you guys. Please don't forget those dynamics. Those are so important, and it's going to make this a lot more entertaining to play 1,000 times before you come for your audition. Measure 9, you're back to a mezzo forte. You do a nice crescendo all the way from mezzo forte to forte in measure 11 to 12. In measure 13, we're back down at piano again, and you finish at piano, okay? Whenever you play this piece, please make sure you are practicing with your metronome. It doesn't lie, and it's definitely going to help you out when it comes to learning your audition music. I'm going to play this piece first at 76 beats per minute, and then I'm going to crank it up to 100, which is what it's written at. So here's the 76. Okay, and now I'm going to play it at the 100 beats per minute. Awesome. I hope this helps. If you guys have any questions, please reach out, and I would definitely love to help you. And yeah, good luck on your audition.